It's them Swedish House Mafia boys which save the world. My guest of the day is a bundle of great energy and talent.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
My brother from another mother, GK. Gaurav Kapur, welcome to the show, man.
Brother, what? So you couldn't find a star for today, so you decided to find me instead.
Actually, Chinnappa and you were the first three people I thought of. So it might interest you.
Chinnappa and me are the first three people. Which one of us is a split personality?
Two out of the three people I thought of. So
you know that Chinnappa is actually two people, right? Chinnappa is two people. There is one Chinnappa who is at home. There is what I call the civilian Chinnappa. The civilian Chinnappa is, bro, you want something to eat, bro? Just change the channel, bro. And then there's the in uniform Chinnappa, right? When he has to go on air, right? When he has to go on air. And then he puts on all his rings and his dark glasses.
Oh my God, that's exactly what happened right now. There was a conversation like this, and then when I hit record, it became
hey, what's up? Like, calm down, brother. Matlab, you know,
So, man, how are you taking to this lockdown? Have you taken to it like fish to water? But you seem to be more busier than ever before.
Yeah, what I don't like is that I love working from home anyway. I like being at home. Office is 1 kilometer from home. So I like that little, thoda age ke saath this whole running around and flights and traffic. Thoda you like it a little less. But the problem is now you can't make that excuse that, hey, I'm traveling so I can't come for your shoot.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm stuck in traffic so I can't come for your shoot. How will I go from this studio to that studio in the same day? I can't do it. Now, it's like 11 to 1 you do one shoot, 1 to 2 another shoot, 2 to 3 another shoot, because all you have to do is effectively get a bottle of water and go again. So that's the only sort of dampener. But I quite like, but I think that this connects also to the thing you said previously about donating. And I think we're all very fortunate. We have a roof over our head. We have food in our fridge. We don't have to worry about things that a lot of other people who are not as privileged as us and lucky as us have to worry about. So I think it's very important for all of us to donate. And it's not about big sums. Even if it's about there is a guard or a watchman, there are essential services people who are around you. There are people who are delivering stuff to you, whether it's food, vegetables, packages. If you can do anything for them, anything from a packet of biscuits to a slightly bigger tip than you would usually give, a loaf of bread when you're going to buy a vegetables and fruit, and you come back with, whether it's bananas. It's just small, simple gestures if you can do. It doesn't matter how much you're giving. What matters is the sort of the thought, the empathy and the compassion in your heart. So I think that's very important. And I don't think any of us can really complain about the lockdown, bro. I mean, look at us here. Yeah, we're all privileged and fortunate. We don't have food anxiety. We don't have, to worry about a roof over our head. There's people who have serious, genuine problems. So I get very hassled by people who say they're getting bored right now.
Yep, that famous saying, anyone who says they're getting bored is simply not concentrating. Back with Gaurav Kapur up ahead just after you enjoy some music producers Zed and Selena Gomez. This one's called I Want You to Know. Only on 94.3 Radio on One World, your station. I'm Hrishi K. Chance the Rapper along with Ed Sheeran. It's the song Cross Me. Anchor, actor, sports broadcaster Gaurav Kapur is regaling us with his lockdown and shooting tales. More to come.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
So, it's interesting when I ask people what is the skill set that they've developed or worked upon. Like, for example, Ashish Hemrajani said, I am baking bread every day, different kinds of bread. Dabu Rantani said, man, I've not backed up my work for ages. So all my old photo shoots, I'm digitizing them and taking backups on my drives. Nikhil said that he's working on children's stories. Stories and this and that. Yeah. So in the midst of all this crazy milieu of shooting and this and that, is there a skill set that you worked upon in lockdown? Something that...
Yeah, bro, quite a few. I've actually designed a building, a monument, which has been the tallest building in Mumbai. Then I've got an astrophysics degree. I've composed a sonnet and 1 symphony. I've learned 6 languages, learning my 7th right now. Learned how to play the piano, self-taught from YouTube. Sorry. This is me making fun of everyone who's like, hey dude, man, lockdown, we're a Michelin star chef. Just only do things that you know you will do after this lockdown is over as well. That's your genuine interest. What I really enjoyed doing, and I always enjoyed doing, was cooking. I was never very proficient at it because I hadn't spent too much time at it. Now I'm getting to spend time at it. So I think my cooking has just become better. The problem with all of us who are cooks, who are higher in enthusiasm than talent, is the the food shows have ruined us. So what takes regular people 30 minutes to cook, or proficient people 30 minutes to cook, takes me 1 hour. See, because mise en place has to be right. Everything has to cut and chop and then put it together and measure and all. Whereas good cooks are just going, putting. So somebody asked me the other day, this thing, why did it take you an hour and a half to make a pasta? It's like, but chop the garlic. Should take you half an hour max. I'm like, yeah. So I'm trying to improve my speed, just my instinct with cooking. I haven't gone as far as to learn to bake bread or anything, because that's just crazy level of commitment that I don't have. But I have learned how to make fish and things with shrimp, vegetables, so I am learning pizza. I tried to make pizza dough the other day. Came out fantastic. It had the texture of a slipper and the taste of socks.
I'm very impressed. So do you have a domestic help who lives with you, or do you do the grocery runs yourself? Are you going once or twice a week outside, or is it being delivered downstairs and you bring it up and sanitize it? Just how you're going about your groceries and essentials?
Two things. So there's two. One, of course, the domestic help we had, which was a housekeeper, has a younger brother in the city who would have been left alone to fend for himself, who would not have been able to. He's a student. So on day one itself, he told the housekeeper, you should go and you should be with him. Then we have a cook who was in his village in UP and who said, भैया आप अकेले हैं, मैं आता हूँ ट्रेन पर. मैंने कहा बैठो तुम, ठीक है, नहीं जाओगे, तुम घर पे बैठो अपनी फैमिली के साथ. So sort of on our own, and that's fine, because it also helps you realize that you don't really need all the things that you thought you needed, right? You don't need to eat fancy meals all the time. You can eat for nutrition and sustenance more than always being a glutton for taste. So that's one thing. Your first question. The second is getting stuff is luckily just about 50 meters down the road from Pali Naka. So tend to go in the afternoon with my mask and gloves and hairband and eye collar and covered completely. And there's nobody in the afternoon buying fruits and vegetables. So luckily I have the place, both the stores to myself, get the stuff come. Any deliveries that happen in our building, they put on the desk in the reception and contactless, go down, get it up, sanitize everything, throw the boxes away, wash everything. So being very careful. Again, that, it can come from anywhere, right? But all we can do is take as many precautions as we can.
I reckon you guys are already rolling off your chair with a GK wit. Gaurav Kapur shall continue on the gig. The music keeps rolling out. Here's The Weekend with Doha Cat in your eyes right here on 94.3 Radio 1. One World, your station. My name is Hrishi K. The boys from DNC, that's Body Moves. If you loved him on extra innings on IPL and then his breakfast with champions, you'll love him more off camera. Gaurav Kapur is chatting with me.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
So man, this Isolation Premier League idea is just fabulous. I mean, was it just you and Neerav Ghosh waking up one fine day and, the team at Oak Tree saying, we've got some time, so let's reach out to our friends who are at home and try and do this? Or did you plan it like a regular show and then it just fructified into this because of what happened? Where did that come from, man?
So we were just sitting, we were doing a call just as this lockdown happened. Luckily, I could foresee about a week ago that this was going to get bad. So a week before the lockdown happened, we ordered a work from home for Oak Tree Sports. So we've got 25 people. So everybody, we said, work from home. In fact, over the next few days, come in slots and pick up your stuff and go home and set it up. So edit, music, VFX, everything could get set up. People were set up from home because we had no idea how long this would be, what would happen. I don't think anyone did. So first idea was, let's just do something, because, the team needs to be occupied. They need to feel motivated. If you're just sitting every day and doing nothing, it can just drive you a little crazy in, small Mumbai houses which you're sharing with, people sometimes. So if you just have 4-5 hours of work to do a day, it just keeps you sort of mentally sane. It really started with that. Then we thought, let's revisit some of our old ideas. I'd always had this idea, and I've always been fascinated by whenever you ask sports people about their good days, it's amazing what all they remember, right? They just sort of seem to know it all. So we said, why don't we do something which is asking these guys about the things they've done in the IPL, which will give people some nostalgia. The IPL had to be on right now. It's not happening. Some stories will come out. It'll just give people something. We literally on a Zoom call came up with this idea. And I said, we don't want to do it as a live. Everyone and their aunties and uncles are doing Instagram live. Right? Live in the evening should be, instead of called 5 o'clock, it should be called live o'clock, because that's it. It's just red circles. We said, we can't give people a complete experience like we would if we shot it. Let's give them as close to that as possible. I threw this challenge out to the team. In 72 hours, we had the first episode up to Dinesh Karthik. First episode up. We figured out how to shoot it with Zoom, sound, cleanup, music, made the VFX, made the design elements, made the research, everything. All I had to do was call Dinesh. He agreed. He loved to have some fun. We did it. So, and that's how it just started. And I think the name just caught on, because we were playing on IPL. So we said, Isolation Premier League. And it just caught on. So now we're thinking we won't limit ourselves to 20 questions. We can just have a power play with somebody with just 6 questions. We can do a T10. Sometimes some fans complain saying, Ashwin's questions are very difficult. Chair's questions are difficult. UV's questions are very easy. I'm like, bhaiyo, ye UPSC ka exam nahi hai. This is like, whose line is it anyway? The points are all made up and they don't matter. Just have fun and listen to some stories. So yeah, to answer your question, it came from 2 things. One was the need to keep the team occupied and to give something to our viewers, to give, slightly differentiated quality product. And the other thing was that still got to, make things and, sort of put them out and, so one for our team and the second for our viewers. So those were the 2 reasons why we sort of came up with this.
Rolling out the great content even during lockdown, our Gaurav Kapur and team having a ball of a time with Gaurav on 94.3 Radio 1 World. Your station is me, Hrishi K, and it's time to listen to some Room 5 featuring Oliver Cheatham. This one's Make Love. The incredible Colby with Falling For You, sports entrepreneur, broadcaster, anchor, and all-round entertainer Gaurav Kapur is hanging loose with me on the gig. More on his show, the Isolation Premier League.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
You've got a whole fun bunch of personalities. Who do you, just a few of the guys, I know as a producer, each episode is like a child of yours. You can't say this was better than the other, but I'm just saying, just some fun moments from the Isolation Premier League.
I hate all the episodes equally. You're right. They are like my children.
So, just fun stuff that happened, man, in Isolation Premier League. Stuff that just comes off the top of your head.
I think one of the funniest was with Amit Mishra, because he's too sweet, man. Mishi is such a sweet, sweet man. And he had gone to his parents' house. So the internet is not good there, right? So the guy actually moved 4 locations trying to find internet. Arey, suno, mujhe 2 minute aur do, main dhoondta hu. And then finally he sat in one corner of the kitchen where the internet was the clearest. And then he turns it around and see what I was doing before you guys called. And there was a plate of sabzi that he was cutting. He had called. That was quite cute. Then, one of my favorites was in the Ashwin episode where his daughter just comes in, right? So we're chatting. I asked him, what's the pin code of the Chennai Stadium, of the Chidambaram Stadium? What's the pin code? So Ashwin gets completely flummoxed. He goes, yeah, you know what? I've never written a letter to the stadium. How would I know the pin code? So just then, while he's thinking, his daughter pops her head in. Yeah, because she thought he's just chatting with a friend or shooting. So she comes and she goes, hi. And he's got the cutest daughters. So she comes and goes, hi. So I said, hey, listen, we want to help your dad. So why don't you help your dad? Now, the answer is, the pin code is 05, right? So she comes in from here. And the answer, she goes, I said, yes, you're right, it's 5. Nice. I can hear Preeti laughing at the back. Ashwin is laughing. I am laughing. Poor adorable child has no idea what's just happened. That was a cute moment.
And 6 seasons of Breakfast with Champions?
Yes, we've done 6 seasons.
Mazak
mein baat kafi serious ho gayi.
Correct. Yeah. So favorites again, favorites is the wrong word. Memorable ones in this season. Just throw out a few.
So I'll tell you some behind the scenes anecdotes of some funny stuff, right? So the most elusive person to get was Saurav Ganguly. And the reason is because Dada does 40 things at any given time. Dada shoots 100 days for his KBC Bengali. He's with a news channel. He runs a school. At that time, he was running CAB. He has some business. He'll do speaking assignments. He'll do commentary. He'll do some consulting. It's impossible to pin Dada down. So we were doing commentary on the India-England tour. So we were there. We were in Manchester. We were going to London the next day. So we were on air. In the ad break, I turned to Dada and I said, Daddy, tomorrow morning, I'm coming to shoot with you. 2 years I've been trying to catch you. I know you're free tomorrow morning. evening I'm coming to the hotel. So he says, okay, come at 11. I said, okay. So we've shown up in London at the St. James Hotel, the Taj Hotel, and Dada comes at guess what time?
I don't know.
11:01. Dada's perfect on time. Later we realized that actually Dada double booked the 11 o'clock slot. He was supposed to shoot one more thing. Their camera packed up. So we got him at sharp 11. Honestly, I would have waited for Dada till 12, 1, 2, anytime. No problem. I decided today I am going to shoot this episode. And you won't believe he is such a professional. He is such an amazing storyteller. We got 2 episodes of total about 40-45 minutes of content finally on air with him. We shot with him for 55 minutes.
Wow.
That was it. That ratio
is so cool.
Everybody knows that ratio is just insane because he just kept giving gold after the other. So that was amazing. And what happened is that our production guy in London, so we had 3 people on the set. Our production guy, just as Dada came, said, oh, let me get some coffee because the breakfast service was over. And he said, listen, it'll take too long here in the hotel. I'll just go outside to the coffee shop and get some coffee. By the time he came back, our shoot was over.
Wow. So he goes out of Buckingham Gate, gets a coffee and comes back and it's over.
He goes, he finds one was shot, one somewhere else. I think he also went and smoked 2 cigarettes and took a walk and everything. But he thought, chalega shoot. He came back, the shoot is over. So people who are watching are going, why was there no coffee? Why didn't you ask Dada for coffee or breakfast while sitting with him? They're like, because the guy had gone, but our shoot finished by the time he came back. So Dada is one.
Okay, let's take a musical pause there and come back with some more behind-the-scenes action from Gaurav Kapur's Breakfast with Champions. It's Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj side to side, only on 94.3 Radio 1. One World, your station. My name is Hrishi K. Cult band, cult song, cult play with clocks. Gaurav Kapur has come a long way from his Channel V VJing days. I know him for years and years, from his early years and days as a rookie radio jockey. And through the years, he's never been anything less than a total entertainer. A quick wit and quick on the uptake.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
So man, you were giving us some BTS memorable behind-the-scenes action with cricketers from your super show Breakfast with Champions. I love the sort of Ganguly story. Tell me more.
Then another story I really like is Virat. The Virat episode is so amazing. See,
I love it. It's like 2 Delhi boys just hanging out, man. That's what it is.
Yeah. And how that happened is that I got a message from Virat at midnight on a Tuesday. At 11:30 or 12. I get a message in the middle of the night from him saying, ha 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 ha. Are you okay? What has happened? So then he sends a voice note saying, I've just seen your episode with Ashish Nehra. What have you guys done? This is insane. This is amazing. I can't stop laughing. What is this? He sent this amazing voice. So I said, yeah, we were just having fun. This is the show. You also come show your cute face on it. So he sends a message back immediately saying, okay, tomorrow, 7 o'clock is fine. At this point in time, bear in mind, I'm in Delhi because I'd gone for a shoot. I said yes. I called Neerav and I called the crew. They are also wondering why he's calling at 12. I said, we have Virat tomorrow at 7 p.m. Figure it out. Yeah. Right? All Virat said is that I have another shoot, so just keep it in the Andheri area in Mumbai, as you know, suburban Mumbai. Just keep it in that area because that's where I am and traffic in the evening is crazy, so we'll get more time. Now the problem is, where do you take Virat Kohli in Mumbai to a public place at the evening?
Anywhere. Anywhere in India. Where do you take him? Yeah.
Where do you take him? Yeah. Right? Because you'll go in one piece, but you'll come out in 10. Somebody will be holding his shirt, somebody will be holding his shoe, somebody will So he's telling me, he says, why don't we go to social? Because we shoot a lot of shows in social. He says, why don't you go to social? I'm like, have you forgotten who you are? How the hell do I take you to social at 7 in the evening? He's stuck now. What is our location? So dear brother Roshan Abbas steps in and says, listen, why don't you shoot at the Encompass office? I'm like, yeah, that's great. You have a beautiful office. They sweetly send an email out to people saying, whoever is not required to be there after 6, you can leave. Don't hang around in office. So we land up there at 7:30 to 9. We shoot the show. And the people who stayed back, this has all got a picture with Virat, and the people who took that HR email seriously and left early cursed themselves the next day.
Wow. What a story that is. That's unbelievable, man.
That's how we shot that show.
And I know a lot of people were screaming out and clamoring for MS to come on. Has that happened? Or has he remained elusive?
Yeah, MS, to be honest, I'm not even asked because MS doesn't appear on any show. In fact, for 10 years that I was doing the IPL for Sony, he wouldn't even come on extra innings. He doesn't even give interviews to BCCI. He doesn't appear on any show, any talk show, any radio show, anything. That's just his thing. He just doesn't like to.
He does the after press conference or something and that's it. No?
Yeah, so he'll do the post-match presentation because he's the captain, so he has to. But otherwise, he doesn't do anything. Like even any BCCI bit or, any CSK bit or any Sony or Star or anyone. He just doesn't do any. And I know we spent a lot of time together and, traveling and stuff. And he's seen the show. He's a fan. And he's told me once that the Ashish Nehra show clips were making the round of their team WhatsApp group. So the memes and GIFs from that and things we had said were part of that group. But he doesn't. So people keep asking. And I have decided that one day when I do get him, that will have to be the last episode ever of that show.
Never say never.
Then we're done, right? You will do MS Dhoni on Breakfast with Champions, 3-part special, and then shut her down on the show. That's it.
That would be something. MS Dhoni with Gaurav Kapur. As we wait for that to happen and more chat with Gaurav to happen here, let's do some Chad Kroger from Nickelback with Santana. It's Into the Night. I'm Hrishi K and you're on 94.3 Radio 1. One World, your station. It's Bryan Adams with the euphoric 18 Till I Die. Home stretch today of my show with Gaurav Kapur. We've saved some bits for tomorrow, so do come back for that, but still some to go today.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
I like that you break format sometimes. Like, for example, Misfield had happened in between. Then the lady cricketers, which is fantastic. So in terms of where you're going to take the show, I understand that it's fundamentally sports. It's about conversations. Are you using this time to think of how you can take it to the next level?
My idea always with Breakfast with Champions was when I sort of conceptualized the show, the idea was to make a talk show for the screen, which was an antithesis to a TV show. It would not have an opening. It would not have me talking to camera. It would just be a candid conversation where a third person as a viewer could almost feel like they are the third chair on the table and two friends are talking. So it was designed, and even I visually designed it like that. Like our cameras are we've never used lighting in any episode. We've never used makeup. We tell people wear whatever you want, chappal, shorts. So it's just think of it. And that's why we do it in restaurants and cafes, because automatically a person is put to ease, right? The minute I put lights on you and I put cameras on your face and I do focus testing and I see the light is hitting you correct, you get into you change, right? So we just want to make it as casual as possible. My idea was to do it, Champions was not meant to be only sport or only cricket. Champions was supposed to be, hey, I love talking to people. Why can't I get Ratan Tata on this show someday, right? Why can't I get the head of ISRO? Why can't I get a physicist? Why can't I just get musicians? Why can't I get producers, directors, writers, anyone, right? There's so many champions. But sometimes, so what happens is that it's almost like the show became a victim of its success. Now it's become so synonymous with cricket that I fear that if you try to break it from cricket, you might get a little bit of backlash. And to be very honest, platforms and sponsors and all our associates and all our partners, they don't want us to depart from cricket now. They're like, why fix it if it ain't broke? Yeah, so that's what has happened now. But at some point in time, I do want to take it to, maybe I'll make it just an audio version and do it with champions in other fields as well. So, I want to do that. There's so many, as you know, there's so many fascinating people in India who are in different walks of life and different professions. And I think young people today can use idols and they can use insights into other careers as well. So I would like to do that.
Idols and insights. That's a wonderful way to wrap the GK Gaurav Kapur interview for today. Like I said, there will be a couple of bits coming at you tomorrow too, and I reckon you shall eagerly await that. Time for Pitbull and Asha to come along on the playlist. This is DJ Gaura's Falling in Love Again. Right here on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. My name is Hrishi K. The One Direction boys from their heydays, That's What Makes You Beautiful. Part 2 of the Gaurav Kapur interview. We kicked it off yesterday with much mirth and laughter, and the culmination happening today. Here's Gaurav with me.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
So, man, as a sports broadcaster and an MC, VJ, all your various hats, what is the advice that you can give anybody who's watching this? Because, the post-lockdown world, the new normal, is kind of freaking a lot of people out. I mean, I know for a fact now that, if I charge X for voiceovers, it might be half X once we come out. And that is going to be the new normal till, things don't sort themselves out. So how are you approaching this as a sports entrepreneur as well as an anchor, which is both your hats?
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. Both so my career earlier used to be, I was two different people, one as an entrepreneur and a producer, and one as a performer. As a performer, I had a certain sort of ego, not an ego, but just the fact that I've been in the business for 20 years. So there's a different sort of, there's a different branding and a standing that has happened there. Whereas as a producer and entrepreneur, I'm new. So it would literally be, I'd be two people on a call where somebody would call and say, we have a job for you, GK the professional. I'd be like, why don't you send me an email and I'll think about it. I'll consider it. It fits into my plan. And if I got one call as a producer, entrepreneur, kahan hai sir? Nahi, batao na, kahan hai? Navi Mumbai, Pune, Japan, kahan hai? I'll come. Right? So I was anyway two people. I think now that person has become one person. Where if somebody calls for a campaign or something, I was like, how much do you have? It's fine. Take it. It's no problem. Right? So, but now jokes apart, listen, everybody will have to reevaluate their business model. And it's not just about the fee. First up, you have to reevaluate the product. And once the product changes, the pricing changes automatically. So everybody will have to change their product. And then there's a trade-off. There's a comfort and convenience. If I tell you, Hrishi, you only have to do 5 videos a day and you do them from home and you're going to do them between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. As opposed to saying, you need to do 5, but I can call you any time of the day or night. You will anyway price lesser for the first than for the second.
Correct.
So the factors change. So once the product that you're giving changes, and that's what I want people to think about, like people who are creative people, the post-apocalyptic world, as I'm trying to call it. I don't want to freak anyone out. Yeah, but the post-lockdown world will be different, obviously. There'll be a lot of things that will change. And I think first the change should come, business change can come later. The first change that we should acknowledge as human beings, as emotional beings is, I think we all must realize that we never needed as much as we thought we needed, or as much as advertising and big corporates made us believe that we need. We don't. We don't need to eat as much. We don't need to possess as much. We don't need as much fancy stuff. So I think that should be a good realization for the human race, saying goodness is more important than richness. Just make your life and your emotions rich rather than material possessions. So I think once we realize that, I think our stories will change. I think our creative products will change. I think how we execute them changes. And then we just realize once you need lesser, your ambition changes, your goals change. So a person who's aiming to earn 100 rupees every month will realize that once again, 70 is also not that bad. But in that 70, let me do things that I really want to do. So another thing in the lockdown is a lot of creative people are just doing things because they have nothing else to do. So let me give this a shot. Don't do it. Just take that time to reflect and think. Don't do something that you would not want to carry on in the post-lockdown, right? Because that will take away time that you could spend developing your primary skill for the post-lockdown time. So just get off the treadmill. Don't flay your limbs. Sit, think, reflect, and then come up with the new creative product.
That's great advice.
Some philosophy of life and career advice from the maestro himself. That's Gaurav Kapur. A last leg still to go with him. Selena Gomez for you now. This one's called Kill 'Em With Kindness. Only on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. I'm Hrishi K. The excellent Normani with motivation. The star of Extra Innings on IPL. Former Ace Channel V VJ. And now producer-presenter on the YouTube original Breakfast with Champions and Isolation Premier League. The one and only GK, Gaurav Kapur, is hanging with me. Home stretch of what has been a super interview.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
So the interiors in your house, they're amazing, man. I see some Aussie boomerangs, some African blades or whatever they are, the masks.
Yeah, man.
So was it all you, or did you get a professional to come in and do it, man? So cool.
Bro, made by hand, yeah. This is another skill that I've learned during the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I've made this by hand. Ethically sourced bones from long dead roadkill animals in different parts of the world. And then I put them together. And that lamp that you see is pure gold. In fact, 24 carat. It's a set of 2. It's a set of 4 actually. 2 are here. 2 are in Papida's house. I send them to him. And he has 2. I have 2. And this plant, as you can see, I reached...
The best part of the house. That's the best part about the house.
Yeah, the plant, this is actually, this is Photoshop because it's actually a marijuana plant. But I made a traveler plant so that people don't get alarmed and don't call the police. I actually got this from Bob Marley's farmhouse in the Caribbean. There last year. It's crazy. Where are my stories going? What's going on? And but the true story is I actually went hiking to the Amazon rainforest before they tore it all down. And and brought it as cabin baggage.
What's the first thing you're going to do when, if and when the lockdown is lifted? What's the very first thing you're going to do, man?
The first thing I'm going to do, stay at home.
Correct. It's going to go get crazy.
I want everyone who's watching to promise me. You have to promise me. The lockdown getting lifted is not India winning the World Cup.
Yeah.
You don't have to go on the street and start celebrating. Just please be careful even after the lockdown is over. Just be careful. So the first thing I'm going to do after the lockdown is over is sit at home.
Well said. Gaurav Kapur.
Tell me, Rishi, what is the one household object you have not used at all?
No, I've used everything.
I'll tell you what I haven't used.
What?
Iron.
मैं तो करता हूँ इस्त्री यार.
Really?
Because this morning I took this out of my cupboard. I said it's not looking very nice because the istri wala stopped coming a long time ago. So stuff were getting washed and pulled out. So I did a basic one.
No, you're doing lockdown wrong. You're ironing your clothes, you're doing lockdown wrong. And I hope you're not wearing full pants.
I am, my brother. Oh no, I can't tilt down. But
You're wearing full pants. I have not
just in your honor.
I'm not formal. You dress formally. I appreciate the effort. I have to tell you, Ankur Tiwari 2 days ago on a Sunday night, Ankur Tiwari video calls me and he's wearing a white shirt and a black tie. He's dressed like Bruce Springsteen. I was like, are you okay? What's happened? Why are you dressed like this? Were you doing a performance or something? He says, no, the performance I did in a shirt. Then after that, I was just feeling a little low, so I decided to wear a tie and sit down and video call all my friends. Brother, what?
Classic Tiwari.
I don't understand. All my friends have gone completely loco. Cyrus Saukar has decided that one day a week, he's going to sit and chop all the vegetables that he has, put them in Ziploc bags and put them in the freezer. So every morning he just has to wake up, take out one bag and then cook that.
Management skills, brother.
I'm just not understanding what's going on with people. Roshan Abbas is doing 17 webinars a day.
Oh my God.
These brothers, he puts on his computer every day, right? This just calls people. कौन है? कुछ क्या बोलना है? Event business? Okay, ready. Podcasting? Okay, ready. Storytelling? Okay, ready. Entrepreneurship? It's like the Matrix keep changing the disc and just giving ज्ञान to people. All the time. मैंने कहा भाई family के साथ बैठ जा थोड़ी देर.
GK, you're a good man. God bless you, Gaurav. See you soon.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you for being a big brother in my early radio days and for guiding me and teaching me all the devious things I learned about radio.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah. And of course, for the roof that you provided over my head when I came to Mumbai for the first time visiting. These things I'm always grateful for. Always remember where you came from. So I always remember that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Anytime. Love you. Bye. See you.
Take care. Bye.
Never a dull moment when Gaurav Kapur is around. Bet you love that one. Let's add some music to that experience. An artist called Konkara, one of Jamaica's newest artists to hit the music scene. He was born 26 years ago as Nicholas Murray, aka Konkara, in Kingston, Jamaica, to his English mother and Jamaican father. Here he is with his version of the traditional banana song featuring Mr. Lava Lava Shaggy. Enjoy this one only on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. I'm Hrishi K.